Rob Lukey with our Capital Group. I wanted to take a couple seconds to go over our Capital Group first of all, but also the rent versus buying chart that we've went over before, and this kind of coincides with the move that we're seeing in the Case-Shiller over the last 6 months, where we're seeing an increase in home prices. You can see that it's still more advantageous to buy than it is to rent, so it probably still has legs as far as the overall home prices. And maybe as we approach the end of next year or late next year, when we see, well, what we believe that the bond market is going to start to fall off a little bit and maybe interest rates start to tick up a little bit, we might see the market start to stall. Our Capital Group overall, even though the market is tight, and remember, as a trial user, you can still go on and you can take a look on how tight even the auction market is just by going to search properties, for example. And as a trial member, you can have access to old data. So you can look, for example, at last week's auction, and you can say, okay, what's going on? Oh, this property opening bid was $197. It sold for $231. OCG had it valued at $270, but this particular property would have been a great for an end user. For example, this property was actually a property that we ended up buying, about a 10%er there, maybe higher. This particular property, again, good for an end user. Opening bid was $335. It sold for $1 over. Would have been potentially great for an end user. Here's another property in Renton. Another great for an end user, but you can see that it's fairly tight, and we're seeing that same kind of mentality in the California markets as well. And if you look at that and you say, wow, even in one of the roughest foreclosure markets as far as getting deals and turning them, our Capital Group, we still should hit about 20% this year, which is pretty good. So anyhow, overall, and also remember, at least you're in a property and you're in something that is also great from an inflation standpoint if we start to see that type of movement up as far as in inflation. Overall, again, remember, you can go ahead and if you have an account here, you can always log on, click your current positions and see what kind of properties that you have. Again, how much, if you want to see what's going on with them, you can click view and you can get an idea of what's happening with the property via notes and so forth. 12-3 going to court later this month, should take possession. So it's letting the other people that are involved with this property, what's going on with it, what stage we're at. They can obviously, when a property is listed, go and see that as well. But assume you have a property, for example, like Everett. You own this particular property. You're going to be able to go in and see before and after pictures as well. So, for example, this was before rehab. You can get an idea of what the property looked like before rehab, okay? And then you can go ahead and get an idea of what the property looks like after rehab. And you can see all the put in wood floors, painting, and so forth. So anyhow, and remember, with our Capital Group, we're actually with clients and partners, we're partnering with the property, and then our Capital Group is obviously handling the rehab. We also list the property, market the property, commission free. That's part of our cost. But this is a great way for people to get involved in this market. And in my opinion, and this is somebody that had an enormous amount of experience at trading the stock market. I owned a brokerage firm from 98 to 2008 and sold that brokerage firm. And I can tell you that from a standpoint of a beta on it, this is a good way for people to take advantage of this market with, in my opinion, fairly limited risk in comparison to, let's say, the stock market. Anyhow, I hope everybody has a great day. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Take care.